Hey there everyone, it's Mr. Schmidt. I'm not going to be there today because I'm at a conference, but that doesn't mean you don't have lots of good work to do. Today you're going to ask for special help from Rithik, from Morena, from Anna, from, Natalie, and from Alex, because they're actually experts in what you're going to do today. Last week on Wednesday, we were all kind of writing about what we thought the difference between those two different neighborhoods are, and we're going to continue that. But we actually had a cooler assignment that we wanted to do, but we had some technology problems. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you is that everybody needs to make sure they're using the same program today. So when you log onto your computer, it'll look something like this. And you have some different options for using the internet. You could use Internet Explorer, you could use Mozilla Firefox, and you could use Google Chrome. Those are all options. But what I'm going to tell you right now is that none of us want to use Internet Explorer ever. Okay? And since we're going to be using Google today, the best idea is probably to use Google Chrome. So I'm going to ask you guys, and I've already told Lorena, Rithik, Alex, Anna, and Natalie to make you guys all use Google Chrome too. So we're going to use Google Chrome. And what we're going to do is a little assignment. So remember to go to our page, bakermidddleschool.wikispaces.com. And when you get there, you got to click on the right course page, of course, and we're 6th grade Global Studies. And our unit is Latin America. And when you get there, you're going to be able to scroll down, and you're going to be able to see our directions. So we want to try to make this postcard. Last time we activated our account, but we were using the wrong internet browser, and so we couldn't really use all the functions right. So we're going to try it again today. And just so you know, those 5 people, they've already done it. They are experts in it, and they made great postcards. So they're going to be able to help you make great postcards too. So Chapter 9 assessment, analyzing inequality. So inequality means it's not equal in 2 neighborhoods in Mexico. So you're going to want to read all this data, and it's going to tell you different things about the neighborhoods. One is Benito Juarez, and the other is Milpa Alta. So you're going to use the data right here in this table to figure out what you think about these neighborhoods. So if we're looking at the data right now, we'll look at it together. We can think about the population density, so that's people per square mile. If you look at this, it shows you that there's a lot more people in Benito Juarez than there is in Milpa Alta. Now that doesn't necessarily mean it's good or bad, it just means that it's going to be a lot more crowded in Benito Juarez. But let's look at this statistic. This is for people over the age of 15 with more than a primary school education. Now, we decided together that meant elementary school. In Benito Juarez, it says over 75%, which is good. That could be 100%. I don't know. I just know it's more than 75%. For Milpa Alta, though, it's under 55%. Under 55, that could be 0. It's just something below that number. So this, probably very good. This, definitely very bad. If we think about the homes built with good materials, if we go to Benito Juarez, we have over 85% of the homes are built with good materials. That's the highest percent they gave, so it could be 100. In Milpa Alta, under 65%, so most homes probably aren't built with good materials. Good materials are like wood and shingles and all that sort of stuff. Bad materials are going to end up being like plastic, tin, all this sort of things. If we look at the running water in the homes, Benito Juarez, you're probably going to have running water. Milpa Alta, you're probably not. Most people will not have running water. So which one of these places are going to be more dangerous? I mean, usually you find a place that's very nice and it's pretty safe. You find a place that's not so nice, it's usually not very safe. So this statistic right here for number of police officers will be surprising. Now there's more people in Benito Juarez, so they might need more police, but it's probably going to be safer, and they have a lot of police. Milpa Alta, though, it's going to probably be unsafe, and they don't have many police. That probably is going to make things tougher there. In terms of green space, though, so yards or parks for people, Benito Juarez does have less green space than Milpa Alta. And if we want to look at some pictures, I actually put some pictures on our class website. So these are pictures of Milpa Alta. And if you look at these, you can see, in Milpa Alta, it's kind of dirty there. And it's not because people don't want it clean, it's because they actually don't get trash service. This is a home there. You can see that it's made out of tin. You can see that it's kind of broken. You can see that the ground they don't have paved roads. It's not a very nice place to play for this young man, probably. If we go inside their home, we can see that there seems to be food everywhere. It's not very clean. All these people are living in one shack together. This is where they play every day. This is their door. Can you imagine having to go out of your home like this? This is a larger view. You can see some of the homes are actually getting rebuilt, so that's good. But what's in the background? These people all have tarps for roofs. You can see that it's pretty wide open spaces. Even the places that they're building new aren't really finished, and some have been abandoned. Now, on the other side of the city, we have Benito Juarez, which is considered much nicer. We see this family right here. They have on very nice clothes. He's got a nice car. You can see leather seats in there. Wreaths on the door. It's looking very nice. If we look at their home from far away, it's got a privacy fence. It's multiple stories. This is definitely built with good materials. Look at this park right here on these nice statues. That doesn't exist in the other part of town. They even have an airport. This airport's very nice. I mean, right here we see some of the decals. This looks like the Detroit Metro airport. Nice places to eat. Some very modern, fancy homes. And, you can just see right there that there's a huge difference between these neighborhoods. So what is your assignment today? Well, you've already been writing. So you actually have part of it done if you use your time well on Wednesday. But let's see. Our job is to create a postcard, and your postcard is going to go to either Mr. Hahn or Mr. Cross. On the front of your postcard, you're going to divide that card in half. And on one side, you'll have a picture of Benito Juarez, and you should have a title. And on the other, you'll have Milpa Alta. And you're going to draw, or if you did this on paper, you would draw it. But you'll probably actually find the picture. You could find a picture on the internet. One for each neighborhood. And you got to make sure that the picture matches the descriptions. So don't put a very nice city and then say it's Milpa Alta, because that's not going to match. You can also take pictures off my site. On the front of the card, you're going to want to have today's date, and then you're going to want to have something like Dear Mr. Hahn. In the opening, so your first paragraph, you're going to want to say who you are. And you're going to want to tell the audience, hey, listen, I'm so-and-so, and I went to these two neighborhoods in Mexico City. The next paragraph, you're going to want to include some brief comparisons between the two neighborhoods using your knowledge of Mexico City and a geoterm. So you might say something like, I noticed when I went on my trip to Benito Juarez and Milpa Alta that there was a lot of spatial inequality. See, I just used a geoterm. There was a lot of spatial inequality. I could kind of tell this because when I was in Benito Juarez, over 85% of the homes were built with very nice materials, whereas in Milpa Alta, it was under 65%. What this means is Benito Juarez's houses are much nicer than Milpa Alta. That would be one way to do a comparison. Finally, you're going to want to have a conclusion, and you're going to tell me which neighborhood you like better and why. Finally, make sure at the end you sign off. So you might say sincerely, you might say from, you may say greetings. I don't know, that's up to you. But then, your greeting and then say your first and last name. So from whoever you are, okay? Now you could create this from scratch using a presentation, but you could also use my template. So I'm going to click on my template, and I have some rules for you to follow. So this is opening my template right now. Might take you a second too. And you'll notice that I kind of built these boxes for you. So at the top it has the name. And then it has a spot that tells you, hey, put your picture over here, friend. The other page, page number 2, has your template for what you need to put in for your paragraphs. And you'll see I already put Mr. Hahn's address for Baker Middle School right here. And there's a spot for a stamp, and there's a spot for your name and your address, and then all your words. But this is my template. If you start writing on here, everybody else is going to see your work and you're going to ruin the template for them. So there's something very important you need to do. And Rithik and Anna and Natalie and Alex and Orena will all show you how to do this too, because they're experts. They already studied this a couple times and they're really good at it now. So I'm sure they can help you. Just remember, you got to be patient because there are only 5 people and there's 25 of you. So be patient and they're definitely going to be able to help you. Unless you don't need it, of course. So when you want to make a copy of something, the first thing that you do is you go to File. And when you get to File, you have all these different options. But one of the options is to make a copy. And that's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to make a copy. And when you make a copy, just like I told you last time, you always need to make sure that you name it something that will be familiar to me. So you're going to want to put your name in there. So that I know, hey, this is a neighborhood comparison, but this is John's. That's how I'm going to know the difference. And if you click this button, you can also copy it to the collaborators, which means people who already have privileges to the document, but we'll skip that for now. So if you press OK, it will load up your own document. Now this is the one that's yours and yours alone. You want to share this with somebody? You just click Share. And who are you going to share it with? You might share it with me, in which case you're going to type my name, Joseph Schmidt, and then you'd click on my name. You might want to share this with Jorge. So you'd type Jorge, and he'd pop up in there. You choose him. And then you can say whether you want him to edit it, whether you want it to comment, or whether you want him to view. And I know we talked about this, but I'm going to tell you again because I really want to make sure that you got it down. Once you have this, though, you can do a lot of cool stuff. If I hadn't already created the text box, you could click on the text box, but I already created it. You could put in shapes, you can put in lines, you can change the background color if you really want. And then all of a sudden you have a different color background. You can do those sort of things if you want. Okay, you don't have to, but you could do those. Now to put in a picture, you could either click this button that says image, and that will work if you downloaded the picture to the internet. But if you go to our class page and you saw one of these pictures that I put on there and you really liked it, you can actually put your mouse over the picture and you can right click and it will let you copy the picture. So that's another option. Where is my document? So do you want to see some that other people made? Here is one that Anna made. Anna made this, and she put her pictures in these 2 different slides. She wrote a story to me, Mr. Cross, and Mr. Hahn, where she told all about the different neighborhoods, and she put a postcard on there. This is one that Rithik made, so he used pictures too, and then he wrote his card. This is one that Orena made. She got her pictures on there, and she got her message, and she even got a unicorn stamp. This is what Alex made. He's got his pictures on there, and he made sure he really kept these pictures in nice quality by making sure he didn't stretch them too much. Then he wrote a great paragraph, put his name on there, good to go. Let's see, there's even a couple from classes that you don't have, or class members that aren't in your particular class. This is Jane Jo Kim's, and she decided to put multiple pictures in there to really show a lot about that place, and that's okay too. If you want to put multiple pictures, that's great. And here's John Eisenhower, and he's got his pictures on there, and he's got his story on here. It's very nice. So I know that you can make one because they made one. They probably spent about 50 minutes on it, so it's not gonna be something that's very quick, but it's gonna be something that you can do for sure. Just make sure when you're done, you share. So let's see who John shared it with. John shared it with me. He has himself. He shared it with Mr. Hahn. And because his humanities teacher is Mr. Delecky, he shared it with Mr. Delecky too. So you could share it with multiple people too if you would like. Let's see who Jane shared it with. Ooh. Jane shared it with me. She shared it with herself, of course, and Mrs. Herberholz, because that's her humanities teacher. And finally, let's see who Alex shared it with. Alex shared it with me and himself, because I'm his humanities teacher. So you're going to have to share it with me too. But if you want to share it with Mr. Hahn, you can. I won't stop you. Just make sure you do as good of a job as possible, And when you're all done, you're actually going to hear that you should be reading Chapter 12, Section 1 and 2. And for homework, yep, you're going to have homework. I'm going to ask you to do geoterms.